Good morning, everybody. I'm Erin Campbell, Beacon Financial Strategies, and I wanted to take a minute and reach out to you today because there's a strategy that we're pretty excited about that we wanted to make sure you were aware of. And specifically for you, because you don't have to take a required minimum distribution this year, we're thinking about whether or not you should consider a Roth conversion. So, first, I wanted to explain why you're not required to take a required minimum distribution. So, in March of this year, Congress passed the CARES Act, and part of the CARES Act was that you do not have to take your required minimum distribution either from 401ks, IRAs, inherited IRAs, any of that stuff. And so I think for most people, if they don't need that money, then they're not going to take it out, and therefore they're not going to pay taxes on it. So that seems like a great idea. So you're going to have your income taxes should go down in 2020 if you don't take a required minimum distribution. But there's some reasons why we should consider going ahead and taking that distribution. And one of those reasons would be if you wanted to do a Roth conversion. So first, I thought I'd explain what a Roth conversion is. So it's a taxable distribution from an IRA. So you're taking it out of your IRA just the same as you would for a required minimum distribution, but this time, instead of just taking it out and spending it, we're taking it out and putting it into a Roth IRA. And in case, just as a reminder, a Roth IRA is not subject to income tax when you take a distribution, which is great. The investment earnings are tax exempt. One of the big things is you don't have to take a required minimum distribution from a Roth IRA while you're alive. So that is a great idea. We're moving money out now, putting it in a Roth, and then you'll never have to take a distribution from that Roth IRA in the future unless you want to. Also, if you were to leave your Roth to your heirs, then when they take the money out, they don't have to pay income taxes on it either. So just overall, it's a really good strategy to reduce taxes in the future. So you're probably asking me, hey, you just told me in the first slide, look, my taxes are going to go down in 2020. Why in the world would I want to accelerate income in 2020, move money into a Roth? And so here are a couple reasons why. A, if you believe you're going to be in a higher tax bracket in the future. And a lot of people ask me this question all the time, are my taxes going to go up? Well, I mean, we can only really talk about what we know now. And so I'll get to that in just a second. But also moving money from the IRA into a Roth, it's actually going to reduce your future required minimum distribution. So your RMDs in 2021 and 2022 might go down because you've taken money out of the pot. And also another reason why you might want to accelerate is if you're thinking about your heirs in the future and them inheriting the money, if you think they're not going to be in a higher tax bracket in the future, then maybe from a family planning point of view, you would want to go ahead and take out the money now, pay the taxes on it at a lower rate. So the next slide I think is pretty important because you're going to say, well, gosh, our rate's going to go up in the future. Well, we don't really know the future, but right now we do know that the current tax law is going to sunset at the end of 2025. So in 2026, under current tax law, we know that the rates are going to change. And so this slide is really important. And it's kind of hard to read maybe, but I kind of wanted to spend a little bit of time here. So the first area is 2020. So that's current rates. And then 2017, so when in 2026, we're going to revert back to the 2017 tax bracket. So you can kind of see here, I'm comparing the 10% bracket to the 10% bracket. It's basically the same. But the current 12% bracket is about what the 15% bracket will be kind of in 2026. The current 22% is going to be 25. The current 24 is both 28 and maybe bleeding a little bit into the 33% tax bracket. The current 32%, again, it'll be 33. 35, you can see, is a larger bracket now. It's much smaller if we go back to the 2017 rates. And it's hard to read, but the 39.6 is the top bracket in 2017, and right now it's 37. And you can kind of see the same thing with single rates as well. But I think it kind of shows you that these rates really are likely to go up in the future, even just on sunsetting the current law. And that's not even talking about anything else. So it's just something to think about. If you're currently, $100,000 of taxable income, you're in the 22% tax bracket. You're definitely going to be in the 25% tax bracket in the future. So if you go ahead and accelerate income into now, by doing a Roth conversion, you're basically paying 3% less of taxes than you would, say, 5 or 6 years from now. So that's the really important part that I just wanted to be able to explain to you guys. So this is something we are definitely thinking about right now. We're running tax plans here at the end of the year. One thing to keep in mind, Roth conversions have to be completed by December 31st. And so generally we're going to not kind of push that paperwork until like the last week of December. Most brokerage firms don't really like it when you do that. So this is something we're starting to think about and process right now. If you know you're definitely interested, hey, reach out to us and kind of go ahead and say, hey, I'm really interested in this. Give us a call. You see our email addresses there. Stephanie and I are both working on this. But I wanted to go ahead and answer the why question of why we're thinking about this. And then specifically, we can talk about your situation. How much makes sense? Should we do the total RMD amount? Should we do something less? Should we do something more? And think about maximizing those lower tax brackets. So that's really what I wanted to reach out to you today about. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. And we look forward to talking to you soon about that. And I hope this was helpful in explaining what we're thinking about. And I look forward to talking with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.